You know, um, for me personally, uh, concentrated repetition has always been my way to immerse myself into wanting to create my own particular way of what I felt spirituality was for me. Just really had nothing to do with it, and before all that, I used to get real mad that people would tell me what to call or how to speak to the divine. And then I would listen to them, how they would speak, and I didn't believe them. I would hear it in their voice, in the breath tone. I would hear how they repeated the words, listen to their prayers, and I didn't believe them. I thought they was just doing it to be doing it. When I heard my grandfather pray, he did it in a way. He did it in a way that I remember feeling the world try to make you feel in movies and shit. Like my grandfather would do it in a way to where you would watch him and you would automatically get into this position to be quiet and still because of what he's doing. Like nobody had to tell you, even when you didn't know what he was doing. It was just a natural response because of his sincerity to what he was doing. He would put himself so much into that, and it would just seem like you are visualizing one of the most passionate scenes from a movie. And I seen other people pray or meditate or whatever. It just seems like they were doing it because they heard about it. You know what I'm saying? Or like they did it because it was something to do. You know what I'm saying? It didn't seem organic. It didn't seem just naturally real. So when my grandfather passed away, the information that I received of him passing showed me that he was content with his choices. And for me, it meant more to me than for his passing because it's like I know he was here and I know the things he accomplished as his individual self with his personal belief. My grandfather wasn't the type of person to like run behind people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he had his life and what he did, but he, for the most part, he stayed to himself. He showed love to his family the way he seen fit. You know what I'm saying? And that was just that. You know what I mean? If you didn't like him or couldn't deal with him, he really didn't care. Just don't disrespect him or put your hands on him. You know what I'm saying? He was one of those type of dudes. You can say whatever you want, but do that shit over there. So, for the most part, I learned that his life for me was the sum of the idea of how I can start to develop my own personal road to spirituality, spirality, my personal connection that has to do with my temple, me as the temple, and a higher version of myself as the concept. So when I'm speaking, I'm being true to my downfalls, to my shortcomings, because this is the only way you can reach a higher level of you is to subsequently imagine a better version of yourself. That's a level that you possibly can't reach in your current state of mind. So you have to reach farther than you. People settle so fast. They settle so fast for energies and they get locked into a certain way, and then we believe being forced into something is the way you come out of it. Well, majority of the time, the reason why that chaos or that force factor is the catalyst to make change is because people get stuck in their ways. They're not apt to dump out what they believe they know just to open up the cup to bring in more stuff. That's not a normal practice. People are not walking around here like, yeah, what I knew last week, I'm going to know something different in 2 days. People are not doing that. You know what they do? They holding on to the same thought pattern, trying the same shit every year, every eon, every decade, every. You know what I'm saying? They just doing the same every. You like, damn, yo. All right. And that's what y'all doing over there. Niggas been doing that shit, same shit. Crazy thing is, I remember when I was young, old heads used to be like, why you in the corner? Go ahead, get off the corner, man. Go do something with yourself. Corner gonna be here. Even when you going to come back. Same motherfuckers who on the corner gonna be on the corner. And they ain't never lie. Only difference is some of them end up being in jail or dead. And that was a part of the systematic situation that they implemented into society to keep niggas fucked up. We know what they do to the streets. We know how they glorify the pain so they can replicate that shit and say, hey, look at me. Now we go. That's basically what it is. They want to have our story. They want to have the good and the bad. They want to be us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not talking about they as in retrospect to color. I'm talking about the controlling aspect. People get excuse me. People get all this shit mixed up real fast. They think the way they put out the energy in the direction that the subsequent level of situations may fall always has an arrow to point. Well, that's because somebody picks up the football and runs in that direction with it. That doesn't mean the problem came from there. It's an implication. Everything is an implication. So knowing that there's a higher understanding to these things, there's something that people don't see the overall, what you want to call puppet strings. That's making things make moves. And that is what has a hate against originality, because connected to the original base, there is a set. And that set has to be eradicated in order to replace the functions of what is original. See, it's almost like when you got Jordan around and Jordan still can play ball, even if he old and shit, you would never go listen to a nigga that came, 20 years later. Even though he nice, he ain't Jordan. Jordan's the forefather. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the idea. So it's like, how can you be first and Jordan's still here? You gotta pay homage, right? So unless you erase the idea of who Jordan is, take his moves, do the moves in a game, win as he win, you ain't gonna get that same energy that subsequently was in that space, because you can't stand in the same space at the same time as another individual, because they're occupying that space. So this shows you that things look outside of a situation and they want to occupy the space of eternity that you stand in. Some people are apt, and I'm not gonna even say people because we don't know what the entities are, but there's entities in this world that don't see you how, like, if we see color, we see like the outline of a person and stuff like that. It's entities that don't see you that way. It's entities that literally see your lifeline. They see the color of your lifeline expectancy. And what if I was to tell you that it's a color that's based on a time frame? It stretches farther because it's color. And see, that tells you a lot about certain energies, because colors change according to how far they stretch and the refractive energy of the light source that it came from. So the farther it stretches from its light source, the colors start to change on that same beam of light. So you'll have it bright from its source, and as it goes down, it'll rainbow out into another color at the end. That's dilution. That's just dilution. It's just stretching to the point to where it's so far from its source, the color changes into a resonant frequency for its distance. See, this knowledge is crazy, yo. And only thing I would do to sit down and learn these things is I would sit in one space outside early in the morning, and I would catch the sun rising, and I would meditate and look right at the sun. By the time that sun got started and that caboose started going across the sky, I wouldn't meditate at that point. I let it ride the sky and get the information. And then when that sun starts to set, I'll catch that setting sun and I'll meditate on that, stare right at it as it drop down. Knowledge will just come and download. You'll be just knowing shit. and you'll synchronize with something else. You'll be like, yo, I just was talking about that. Don't even know, but it's on social media, on TV or whatever. People don't understand. The more they speak, the more vibrations is going through the world. It's like radio waves. You don't have to talk to people to hear everything. You need to open your clogged up ears, man. Clean off your rusty antenna. Bust that down. Bust them rocks off that antenna and get to listening. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. You already know the vibes. Grand rise, live rise. If you got this far in the joint, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Let's get my subscribers up. I'm gonna have a little competition soon, you know, just to work on my subscribers. We're gonna give away something. So you already know the vibes, man. Naga. Deuces.